Hello there. Welcome to my live stream. I've just had a bit of a technical fail, so there's going to be some people waiting over at a different link. If you are waiting, I really apologize. I don't know exactly what I've done there. I'm pretty new to this live streaming, so that's the first time I've had to do this. I've had to schedule a live stream. So I think what's happened is I didn't download some encoder, which I didn't realize you'd have to do. So yeah, sorry about that, guys. Hopefully you're all here and with me, and that has worked out. Hopefully the audio's okay. Everything's good. Right, I am currently in Alaska, in Anchorage, and this live stream is actually being recorded on the day that I'm setting off. So I will be leaving this place later in about an hour or two, actually, and I'm super excited, ready to go. Hi, Phil. Good to see you've made it across. And hi, Rory. Yeah, absolute technical nightmare on this side. I think I had to download an encoder. Rory, you'll know what I'm on about probably, because I have no idea. I'm pretty new to all this. I'm currently recording this from a warm showers host. I'll tell you what warm showers is in a second. But basically, I'm in somebody's garage. I'll give you a little tour. Little garage. You can see this has become my workshop, really, pretty much the last few days. My bike's there. Talk through that in a minute. It's got every bike tool you could ever imagine I've needed to use. I'll pop outside, but I'm using Wi-Fi, so I can't go far from here, from the house. But all right, this is outside. It's a little bit of a drizzly day. There's a load of chickens, which is cool. Actually, it's a bit drizzly. Chicken down here. But yeah, this is where I've been staying. A big old yard, which is what they call it in America. Yeah, very much in an American spirit. Had some waffles this morning, which were delicious.
Oh, do you need
all right, Jim, how's it going? No, I'm good. This is Jim. Jim has hosted me for the last few days.
Yeah.
Quite a lot.
What, Friday?
Yeah, since Friday, yeah. And Jim's been amazing. He picked me up from the airport. He is taking me around to get on my bike sorted. I do really appreciate it. It's really, yeah. But this is gonna be our last day together. This is it.
Yep. I was supposed to ride with you, but I'm not sure if I forgot I got girls go to piano or voice lesson.
Okay.
But maybe at least can take them and then I can ride with you.
Cool. I'm flexible to when if you need to shift times, I can move it about.
We don't want to do that much. They go 1 to 2:30.
Cool.
2:45. So
okay.
But, yeah. So you told him you got this bike all fixed up.
Not quite yet. Not quite yet. We'll get there in a minute. Yeah. I'm just saying hello to people. So these are the people that are currently in here. So we've got Paul Cummings is in there. Hello from Huddersfield. Yeah, shit. My mate Chris Brandt, really good pal of mine. Chris, he'd like to say hello to you.
Hello there. How you doing?
Hello, Michael from Sweden again. Nice to see you again on a live stream. And Paul, nice to see you as well. So yeah, we're just going to be. I've got a few things I want to go through, but if you've got any questions or comments throughout this, just drop them in. My plan today is to go through my bike and to show you changes I've made and changes to the setup. I'll talk a little bit through the route. If you, yeah.
I won't run the line. I just pull the line.
Cool, yeah, you go for it, yeah. Right, I'm going to get on with going through my bike first. So here it is. Here's the bike set up slightly differently. I'm going to see if I can get a stool to rest my computer on, because that will make it much easier. So there we go. There is the bike. A little bit dark, but it'll work out. So changes I've made. This bag I got in Japan. This bat bag. Let me get it down. This is just a rucksack. It's quite a heavy rucksack, to be honest. So this is just some rucksack. I got it on offer. There we go. Flashlight. Oh, it's pretty cool. Does that work there? There we go. There we go. Got lighting and everything. Professional setup. Cheers, Branty, mate. Do appreciate that. Good to have you along to say hi. Right, so this bag, all it's got in it is food. That is it. And a little bit of cooking stuff, as in the cooking pots and things like that. But I'm carrying, I think it might be about a week's worth weeks worth of food at the moment. And my logic is Anchorage is probably the cheapest place to buy food within this area, particularly until I get to say if I went to Fairbanks. When I leave here, the food quality of the supermarkets and the selection gets lower, prices start to increase, which, yeah, they're both things that I, as a cycle tourist on a budget, is not really keen to have. It's expensive, rubbish food, hopefully. Most of the foods I've got in here is like pasta, fresh food. I've got tomatoes, onions, bananas, always good cycling food. What else have I got in here? Loads of like pasta sauces. Brilliantly, the dehydrator. Yeah. So Jim's like, you need to mention the dehydrator. So they've got a dehydrator here, Jim and Bernice, who I'm staying with, and I didn't even know what a dehydrator was. You might not know what one was. It's like a little contraption. It's like circular, and you just put pretty much any type of food in it, and it evaporates the water from it. So I had like a load, like 2 bags of frozen broccoli sat in the bottom. Oh, it's in one of these bags in here. I'll get it out in a minute. Now it looks like I've got a tiny little bag of weed. It's all like dried down, got really small. So yeah, that's reduced. It reduced one of my, I'll show you it. Let me get it out. It reduced one of my bags of pasta sauce into like a sachet type packet. Let's have a look. Okay, so what I'm doing here, these bags are new as well. So I've got on the front a couple of cages. Move this helmet out of the way. These are salsa go anywhere cages. They are pretty much like bike packing designed. I wanted something lighter than a front pannier, pretty much. Weird. Cheers, Paul. Yeah, so there we go. Balance that there. So this here, go anything cages. I got them from an RAI, which is outdoor store, which Jim works at. Just happens to work there, which was nice for him to show me around. And yeah, so these come off pretty easily. Tiny little dry bag. The capacity on here is 3 kilograms. So in here, I'm just going to put like variable weighted stuff like food, things I'm going to use at the moment. So there we go. Loads of tins of tuna. Got to get your tuna. So a load of protein. This is the type of stuff I couldn't really buy in Japan because it's super expensive. In the States, there's a lot of big old shops. I've opened the wrong one. And in here is some oats, some good old-fashioned oats. Always good to have. So this is kind of what I'm putting in here is like circular items that don't take up a lot of weight and not a lot of space, but they're a lot bulky. So I am still here. I'll open this one here to show you, hopefully, if it's in here. Actually, I've got a feeling it's not. I think it's in my food bag. That's fine. I'll get it out in a minute. But yeah, pretty much I'm just dehydrated a load of food down. Yeah, so I wanted to carry 7-8 days worth of supply because I wanted to just trial that my bike is able to carry that before I get to the really remote areas, which I'll talk you through in a minute when I go through the map. But pretty much for a lot of this journey now, I'm going to be in remote wilderness, bear country, wolves and other little critters. Things like foxes and squirrels can be eating away at your food if you just leave it out. So one thing I do need to be aware of is how am I going to store my food when I'm camping? So I've got it pretty much all my food in this big red rucksack, which I showed you here. So this big red rucksack, which is far too heavy in here, all food. So that's going to get lighter as I continue cycling. So it's kind of a bit of a motivation. Got water strapped to the side. This bottle's quite important because the lid, this lid size fits perfectly to my water filter. So I've got a Sawyer mini water filter. I don't use the bags because I've used them before and they've broken and they're not very good in my opinion. The bags don't have any here, but you normally get these little plastic bags that you fill up with water, you screw it onto the filter and squeeze the water through the filter to be clean. Instead, what I'll do is this, because this bottle's got the right bottle shape, I can squeeze it onto the filter and use that. So that's pretty important. I'm going to be using the hang method pretty much to try and hang my stuff when I'm camping to avoid it from bears. I've never done this before, so I'm probably going to be horrendous at getting my ropes up in the trees. I watched a couple of YouTube tutorials, and that's as good as it gets. But you can learn anything on YouTube these days, so I thought, let's give it a go. But I definitely will be filming me trying to throw my stuff in a tree. What I've got is 50 feet of paracord, which is just pretty like strong rope. Got it from a Walmart here for like $5. 50 feet of paracord. On the end, I've got a bow line already like tied in, and that's going to be used. What I pretty much do is attach that to a rock, throw the rock over a big hanging tree branch pretty high up, using a couple of like pulley lever systems, just get it pulled up there, a couple of carabiners on there. Let's see if it works. From what I've seen on YouTube, these dudes make it look super easy, and I'm like, I'm absolutely going to end up messing this up, and I'll have bears eating all my food. And this is the thing. It's not the worry about, I'm going to be putting my food at least like 100 meters, 150 meters away from where I am. But the problem comes is if the bear gets at my food and eats it all when I'm like 10 days away from supplies, I'm going to be a bit stuck. So yeah, it's basically to avoid any bears eating my food, less than eating me, which would also be a disaster. Okay, at the back, I've got 2 rear panniers, same setup as before. They're a lot lighter though, because I've distributed a bit of weight to the front, as I'll go through in a minute. And by distributing that weight to the front, it makes a massive difference to my carriage, the balance of the bike, the way it handles, the pressure on the back wheel, which I had a bit of work done on the back wheel, got the rear wheel trued, still my Chinese $5 wheel, which is brilliant. And yeah, pretty much in here is my drone, bit of clothes, laptop will go in here, and yeah, I can't remember exactly what's in it. Yeah, just like kind of clothes and stuff. I've hardly got any clothes though, so I've had to buy a few of the little things for Alaska. Gloves, didn't have to use gloves in Asia particularly. Just had cycling gloves, but I mean actually like waterproof gloves. These are pretty cool, which I've got in here. Pretty sure. Oh, this is very much a luxury item. Eggs. Little egg box container, which is always good. Yeah, the drone's in this one. In here, let me have a look. Oh, really good idea that Jim, my Warm Showers host, has is he's got this box, a brown box in the room that he lets hosts stay at. So Warm Showers, I'll just explain what that is. It's kind of like couch surfing, if you've heard of that. It's a place where cycle tourists can go and create a profile, and people can host you if you're traveling by bike. It's really good. You get to meet super friendly locals, people like Jim and Bernice, and they get to meet some weird British guy. So there we are. Let's have a look in here. I've got my shoes, which I use in Asia. They're kind of like my flip-flops. This is on my cables. Look at the size of that. There's a big Mac charging thing in there. Oh, here they are. So these little things were left in the brown box by some other cycle tourists. So they're a bit worn, got a little bit of a hole in them, but that's no problem because it'll still do the job. Basically, it's just a waterproof boot cover. So what problem I kept having in Japan was when it's raining, I'd be wearing waterproof trousers and all the rain just trickled down into my legs and into my shoes, which means I get wet feet, which means I'm very unhappy. Don't want that. Before I keep going through my stuff, I'm going to look at some of the comments. It's quite hard to do both. So I'm going to go back to where we are. How am I? OSM Lidam. Great. How are you? Okay, Ian King. Most people chuck it up in a tree to avoid birds eating stuff from what I've seen on Reddit and YouTube. Yeah. So what I did look at, Ian, other option is a bare box, like a bare barrel. Imagine a plastic container, put your food in there, and you're able to store your stuff quite easily. You don't have to hang anything. That's the easy method, but it's heavy, a couple of kilograms, bulky, hard plastic, expensive, like $90 for like a normal sized little circle container. There's going to be some areas I go to where it's mandatory to have a bare box. Denali National Park, the park rangers give you one, loan you one for free once you've done your backcountry permit. stuff at the office, which is all free. So once I get there, I have to watch some like safety video, be aware, and then I'm allowed to camp in the bush, in the wilderness. One of my plans when I get up to Denali National Park is to see if you've seen the film Into the Wild, where the dude, super tramp dude, ends up dying at the end. Spoiler alert. Ends up dying in this little bus. I'm going to try and see that. That'll be interesting. But I think that's just on the way anyway. It's on the direction I'm going. So yeah, hanging my stuff in a tree. Andrew Cruikshank, sorry for getting your name wrong. Took a sachet of instant mashed potato hiking recently. Just mixed with boiling water. Decent lightweight food. I've got some actually in this bag. I don't want to open the bag up. It's going to take me ages to get it all put together. But yeah, some instant mash. I grew up on Smash as a kid and hated it. It tastes like wallpaper paste. I've given it a go. Got some of the American stuff because it might be better. It's like some cheese flavored mashed potato. So that could be good. Ralph, hello. Bury the tins from Phil. Could bury them, but I don't know. That'd be take me all day. That I've had enough time digging holes in previous life. Andy Lee, what the temperature's going to be? That's a good question for you, Jim.
Oh, well, today it's...
What do you think it'll be when I start going north?
60s. Fahrenheit.
Fahrenheit.
And
yeah.
after you get over the range, it might be in the 70s, 80s.
Warmer?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So it's going to get warmer as I get further north?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
The ocean keeps it a little cooler here. So it didn't... It's supposed to rain today, a little bit, but just about 3. And then it's supposed to be 60 and 70s on Thursday. So
it's been quite pleasant actually in Anchorage where I am now. It's summer and there's no snow here unless there's snow at the top of the mountains, but and glaciers. But
I gotta go to Costco real quick. You need anything?
I'm okay. But thank you. I've got everything. Got a lifetime supply here. So yeah, temperatures. This is for the summer for June, July, but I'm going to be cycling. June, July, Alaska into northern Canada, and so doing that intentionally, getting north whilst it's summer. But I'm going to take my time. So as I get further south, the cold bit's going to be September, October, November time, coming through the Rockies in the States. So I think the States are going to be cooler. It's going to be a chance of snow, more so than when I'm in the north in Alaska, Canada. Richard Miller, Merino wool, best way to go out on base layers. You're right there, mate. I just can't afford it at the moment. It's just so expensive. So yeah, that's why I've not got any. I just haven't been able to justify spending 40, 50 quid on a top or some pants. But I do agree, it is best. Thomas Coolin, good sir. Just want to say the video's been great. Oh, thank you. That's really appreciated. Looking forward to the next massive part of the series. So this really is like very first video in America. I know I've missed all the Japanese videos and I will edit them and put them out. Actually, I'm going to be putting public my final Korea video on Saturday. So that's going to go out. Hopefully I'll be able to get Wi-Fi, make it public. So currently it's only on Patreon. So if you go to Patreon, you can watch it. And if you become a patron for as little as like, I think it's like $4, which is like 3 quid, 2 quid, that will support me. But don't have to. You can wait till Saturday. It'd be super cool. Cy Richardson still hungover from back. Yes, mate. I had a Thai meal in Anchorage yesterday. Speaking to the family, I was like, "Cock and cab," just thank you. And turns out they're from Laos. Still knew what I was on about. They appreciated it. From Paksay in Laos. I'd been to where they're from, which was quite cool. Talking to some people in America from Laos. Yes. Here we go. Being less 61. I've changed the handlebars. Let's go to the handlebars. All right. Give you a view as if you're sat there. Got these big old wide handlebars. These are Surly. I'm going to forget the name out. It begins with a T. I'm just going to have to look at my phone, so I've got it in an email. These are Surly. Here we go. So I had 2 options of different handlebars to get. And I was a little bit, Surly terminal bars is what I did go for. The other option is a bar called the Surly Moloko. And the Moloko has got the same shaped actual handlebar, but it has like a little front bit that comes out, so it gives you a little bit more position. The downside is I wouldn't be able to fit this bag on as easily. It'd be a little bit harder. I'd have to do some like cutting of a stem, bolting a stem onto there, be just more of a faff, which I could have done, so I was going to change the stem anyway. But I'll talk you through my setup, because GoPro always stays here. That's bolted down to here, same as before. I've got the handlebar bag, which is where in here you're going to see the cockpit, really, pretty much. So where my camera lives. Let's move this out of the way. So where my camera lives. So this is my camera. This is how it goes in here. Just comes straight out. Quick and easy to take photos. It's a Panasonic Lumix G7 with a Boya little microphone thing on there, which I really rate, actually. Super cheap, because like I think $5 in Cambodia, and it makes a massive difference. In here, I've got some wet wipes just to pad it out, actually. So I probably won't use them, but it's just to pad it out a little bit. Because I have underneath my lenses, 2 lenses. I've got a 25mm lens hidden away in the bottom, and then I've got this zoom 45 to 150 zoom lens, which is going to be important for when I see bears and I see moose and wildlife. So yeah, that's pretty much how I have this set up. It's a little bit tilted upwards, which I don't actually think is a bad thing, because it makes it a bit easy to get to. I'm still not really worried about things getting out. It's all magnetic closure on here. So yeah, I have a little Garmin. I bought this in 2014. So I've had this for a long, long time. I just use that to track where I go, just so I can have a little GPS record. In here, it's like a little, like chalk bags, pretty much, if you're a climber. But these are like made for cycling. I didn't buy these, which is really lucky. Again, the brown box, which Jim has here, which anyone that stays here can just leave their stuff. Someone had left 2 of these bags just to give to someone else. I'm putting them to good use. And yeah, at the moment, I've got my gloves in here. That's going to get eaten. I've made a load of trail mix. Ugh. Load of nuts and seeds and beef jerky. So there's just food in that one. And that's going to be just quite nice just to snack on as I'm cycling. Bit of protein. And in this one, this is important. This is bear spray. So I'm going to have that ready to go at all times, just with you. If I go anywhere, it's always with you. It's kind of like your weapon, really. It's got a little slider, safety, and then you just put your finger in there and pull it down. Which, yeah, so what does it say? It's a deterrent. So I should only be using this if a bear is like about to attack you really close. And it doesn't last for long. Could also work on moose if that was to happen. Just deter it. Some other thing I've bought. This is quite cool. Really happy with this. I bought it from Walmart yesterday. It's my little horn. Shall I press it? What do you think? Oh, sorry. Bloody. So I've got that, and I've got a second canister with it. And I just, I've wanted one for ages. I don't have a horn. Didn't want a little bell. Someone's in the way, they're getting the horn. I'm joking. It's more just like, yeah, if somebody cuts me off, I can give them a beep. And it's also, I think, if there's animals, I don't think it's a deterrent. I think they'll just ignore it, to be honest. So I don't think it'll work with them. I'll show you what else I've done. I've got a little dry bag. I say a little. It's a 20-litre dry bag. To the front is my tent. This is it's a Japanese-made Montbell tent, which is a 1-person tent. Only get that in Japan, I believe. I didn't buy a specialist bikepacking rig. They cost about $110 to $160. It's too much for me. So I bought a dry bag, which is a heavy-duty Sea to Summit 20-litre dry bag. It's got attachment points. It's proper for canoeing. And I've got a couple of these volley straps, which are these green straps. You can see here. I've had to attach 2 together to fit it on. And I went for a little cycle on it yesterday. It's different, but it feels okay. And the reason I've put all this at the front is so that when I'm not as much weight's on the back, basically. It's just to balance the bike out a little bit more. And I thought, all that's in here is my sleeping mat and sleeping bag and my tent. So it's basically my sleeping system is all at the front. Cool. Right. Let me go back to the comments, because I'm losing a little bit where I am with the comments. And I think answering what you guys are saying is important. Ian King, really proud. if you can be proud of a stranger, of your journey, by the way. Been watching you since trip to Gibraltar. You've easily got the most watchable series I've come across. That's really kind. Cheers. I appreciate that. Thank you. Let me just put you down. Right. Where are we? Cheers, Ian. That's really kind. And I know what you mean. There's people I watch on YouTube that I feel I know and feel you do get to, because I'm talking to you live. I'm presenting so people can watch this later and hopefully get value. But also the key part as well for me is talking to you guys live because you've made the effort to come and join me. Jamie Ugill, that's my dad. What a cool guy! He said it in that voice as well. And then my mate Brantis buffaloed him. Means he needs to drink his pint. Hello, Helen. Nice to see you over on YouTube. I follow you on Instagram. Have you upgraded your sleeping bag? And what temperature bag did you use in Japan? Great work, Adam. I haven't. Well, okay. So since I've started the journey, I've got a different sleeping bag. I started with a lightweight snug pack jungle bag, which is what they issued to the British Army. So I just used my old army bag, which is free, but I think they cost like 20, 30 quid. That isn't suitable for here. So that went a while ago. That went when I was going to go to China. So when I was in China, it was cold and was expecting to go right up into the mountains, and it was cold. So I then got a cheap but big sleeping bag from Decathlon. That lasted a few months. And I decided to send it home. And when Lucia came out from the UK, she brought back my proper down sleeping bag, which I already owned. So I've got a down sleeping bag. Goes down to, I think, -5, 10. It's big, but it's not the most expensive. It's quite a cheap, don't know the brand, Robin's sleeping bag. My sleeping mat, that's really important. I'm on my 3rd sleeping mat. And sleeping mats, I would say, are just as important as your bag. It actually keeps you really warm. If you have a rubbish mat or you're sleeping on the floor, you get cold quick, no matter what your sleeping bag. So I've got a Sea to Summit sleeping mat. It's don't know the exact brand one, but basically it's got 2 layers. So you blow it up on one side, and then you blow it up on the second side, and that allows if you have a puncture, you don't go fully down. Really good. And so far, no punctures. So I'm really happy with that. The 2 others I had, both broke. Both had big bubbles in them, maybe because I'm quite heavy. So, yeah. All right. Andy Lee. Do you have a power meter heart rate monitor? Just wondering. I don't, mate. No, I'm not. I don't see this as an athletic event. So stuff like that. I do track the GPS, and that's more just for interest. It's to kind of give people an idea of exactly where I went and in the future, so I can know the routes I went. And it's just for data. But yeah, I suppose a heart rate monitor. I did have a watch back in the day when I used to run, but no, it's another thing to charge. My dad, a shotgun would work. Yeah. Cheers, Dad. Do you log on Strava? Yeah, if you search my name, Adam Hugill, you should be able to find me. Don't know if there's a link on my YouTube channel. Not sure. There was a link in my website somewhere. But Adam Hugill, I do put stuff onto Strava. Actually, whilst I'm waiting, whilst I'm answering some of these questions, I'll get my Strava up and give you a link. And that will help. Cool. Be careful with that horn. It could attract a moose. I don't want that. I will be careful. Them mooses apparently kill more people every year than bears. So that's actually a bigger concern for me, really, than the bears are. I think the bears, because they're big and they look scary, is what a lot of people focus on. And I think because the bears are going to be everywhere, it's something not to take for granted. So there we go. There's my Strava. If anyone wants to track where I'm cycling, you'll have to see me cycle today. I probably won't go far today because it's already, what time is it? It's 10:38 here in Anchorage in the morning. So I'm already going to be setting off a bit later today. But I expected that, and I thought this would be my last chance to get decent Wi-Fi and speak to you guys. So yeah, I thought that'd be good. Lucian Dutu, he is on Strava, correct? Just sent the link, which everyone can go. And then Rory, I knew this question had come up. How do you reckon the bike weighs while the gear is heavier? Don't know, mate. So when I flew, my bike weighs about 16 empty, so as in with nothing on it. And then all my gear weighed about 20 kilograms. I bought a little bit more, as in a couple of bags, and the food must weigh about 6-7 kilograms. Water carrying 3, 4, 5, like 6 litres of water. So there's like an extra 10, 12 kilograms just with food and water, just food water. So it's very variable depending on how heavy I'm going, but will be a little bit more heavy. Benjamin Johnston, thanks for being an inspiration. Have you got any plans for after South America? Jeez, I do have ideas. So I'll talk through all my plans. I'm going to sit down because my legs are starting to work. Sit like that. Let me put you down here and I'll go back to my bike in a second. Yeah, so my plans, because I'm doing this on a webcam, can't show you a map, but basically I'm cycling from Anchorage, which is the bottom of Alaska. I do have a map actually. Never mind, don't you worry about that. So Anchorage to Denali National Park. Denali National Park, I'm going to cycle as far into it as I can, which will take me 5-6 days. I think 3 days in, 3 days out. I've already set up a warm showers host for the first day I arrived, just at the entrance to the Denali National Park. Some guy has said he's happy to host me. So that's brilliant. It was another person, just somewhere to clean your clothes. It'll take me about 5 days probably to get up to the park from Anchorage, especially with me setting off late today. But one of the good things at the moment is Alaska's pretty much daylight all the time. I get about 3 hours of nighttime from about 11:30 till 3 a.m. It's dark. So I can cycle all day if I need to. There's pros and cons to it, but long days are good when you're cycling. It means I can cycle any time as well. If it's 9 p.m, I can just cycle if I feel like it and not worry about lights. From there, Denali National Park, coming out, I'm then going to head towards Canada, is the plan, across the Denali Highway, which is a remote gravel track road that takes about 3 days to do. Then I'll cross pretty much into Canada 2 or 3 days later. From there, go to a place called Dawson City. Now, there's a tourist attraction in Dawson City that is very much on my radar. It's been in the news recently, which is giving it a bit more publicity. It's a bar where you can do a shot of whiskey with a fermented, mummified toe in it. Someone's real life toe. Some British guy, ex-army guy, just had to have his toes amputated from frostbite after doing some Arctic expedition. He's just donated some toes, which they're really happy with because they always run out. I think it costs $20 to do a shot of this, but I'll probably pay it just to have a go. And the rule is you don't have to lick or anything the toe, but it has to touch your lips. So yeah, that's Dawson City. That's the last. It's not a city really. It's a little town of about 900 people, I think. From there, my plan is to head north. I'm open to hitchhiking north. I'm just going to plug my laptop in. I'm open to hitchhiking north and cycling down, or cycling up and hitchhiking back. I don't feel the need to go both ways. A lot of the reason because it's going to be quite 10 days or so of remote riding, and food's expensive, and I'll have to carry 10 days of food, get there, carry another 10 days of food. So yeah, that's what I'm looking at the moment. And from there, probably try to hitch up, and then from once I get there, then cycle down. Cycle all the way down through Canada, I'm planning to go to Vancouver, but we'll see. There's a lot of people messaging me saying, come to Vancouver, which I've got to, I think, listen to people sometimes and just be open to visiting places. It'd be a shame not to go. So it's meant to be a nice place to visit. And then I'm keen to go to the Rockies. I'll head over towards Calgary. I've got a good mate I used to work with who lives near Calgary. And then cycle down through the Rockies. There's a Great Divide mountain bike route. I'm going to try and stay on that for a good amount of time, but I'm also open to coming off it and visiting other things that don't happen to be on that route. And it'll be starting to get to winter when I'm doing that. So Great Divide in winter time, which will be interesting. A lot of people say it's not possible, but there's definitely people that have done it. So that's my plans up to there. The broad plans after that is Central America, South America. Money makes a big difference, how much money I've got left. I've made these repairs and the change to my handlebars wasn't cheap. So I'm just going to have to basically live on noodles and peanut butter for the next few days, weeks, months, year. Cool. After that, South America, my plan would be to get to Africa, cycle through Africa, cycle north towards the Middle East, Central Asia, world, kind of done. that's the big plan. Took a while to get there. Right, Richard Miller. Let's talk to my dad there. Chris Brandt. For me, hammock camping's way forward. Still consider it. So I cycled with a guy called Arthur. When you watch the video on Saturday, which I'll make public, it's all about pretty much me cycling with Arthur. He's a French guy, super cool. He had 2 rear panniers on a bamboo-made bike, which is an awesome bike. And he camped in a hammock all through Asia. And it's okay in Southeast Asia for him. But in Korea, he was freezing. Gibbers, is what they'd say in the army. He was absolutely freezing at night, just like hardly getting sleep, because it's hard when you're wild camping to pick spots where you're not going to get a breeze underneath. It was near the coast. It was windy. If you get wind under a hammock, you just freeze. So it's really difficult. It reduces your places to find somewhere to sleep. Also, when I get north towards the Arctic Circle, there's no trees. It's just wilderness with no trees. So if I had a hammock, it'd just be unworkable. I believe in them conditions. Hammocks, good for the right places. Southeast Asia, perfect. So yeah, mate, I've looked at it and it's just not viable, I don't believe, for me. Tajesh Shah, good luck from India. When are you coming to India? So as per plan, it'll take me a couple of years at least before I'm even finishing this. So a long time. But do I carry a camping chair from Phil John? I did when I first started. It broke and I'm not getting another one. I just take a bag off that's got soft stuff in it and sit on it if I need to. It's that's what I used to do in the army. You didn't bring a camping chair, you just sat on your bag. What about pee at night from Ralph Amer? Do you go out the tent or do you have a container? Sorry for the question. Good question. I've never peed in the tent so far. I know if you're at high altitude or it's really snowy and cold, a lot of people do carry a pee bottle, like a large Nalgene or even a milk carton, as long as it's wide. Don't want to get it spilt anywhere, do you? And yeah, you don't want to be mistaking that for your water in the morning. Pro about peeing in your tent, in a bottle, obviously, would be a little hot water bottle. No, so I've only ever done that in Nepal. Not had to do it on this journey. Just get out, step out, shoes on. Don't want to pee next to your tent. Okay, other question from Ian King. If you watch the Departures episode in Canada free on YouTube, he has the toe. Hopefully, I'm not seeing that. Hopefully, I will soon in the future. My dad talking to people. That's cool. Richard Miller. It's just as easy to go up several meters from your sleeping area and discharge marking area, keeping animals away. Yeah, the only time I do it, I would say, is if it's a snowstorm, blizzard, and I'm just like, you cannot be bothered getting out. As well, in altitude, if you're quite high, it makes you urinate more. So, yeah, get it onto the wee stories. Cool. Right, would you be interested in seeing what else I've got packed in my bike? I've never done a gear video. I'm never really super interested in making one, but I thought about doing it. I've got another comment here from A Bit Morbid. We get a chance to visit the Chris McCandles into the Wild Bus. I think I will, yeah. From what I've seen, I think it is on the route, so I'll see that. That'd be interesting. Yeah, right. Are you interested in seeing what's in my bike? Because I think that'd be quite interesting for me if I was watching this. I've just spent ages packing this. I'm gonna unpack it a little bit. Best way to do this, I think, is just start a pannier at a time. Actually, I can start with the bike as it is and then go into the panniers. So other changes I've made, I've got some new pedals. These green pedals. My other pedals, which I don't know where they are, but I've had them for 4 or 5 years. I realised they were all bent and messed up, or when they went to be hard, it all slipped off. So I bought some a little bit cheaper off Jim, the guy I'm staying with. So that was good. To get some new pedals. I've got a second fuel bottle. That's what this white bottle is here. It's a second fuel bottle. Come on, let's come out. It's not full yet, but yeah, it's an MSR fuel bottle, which is pretty cool. Good to go. I'm going to just start emptying what's in this bag. You'll be able to see it on the floor. So at the moment, I threw a few things in there so they're loose. So a little warm bit of gear, Helly Hansen, a waterproof sealskin hat with the most important part, which is this. This is a head net for the mosquitoes. I've seen videos of the mosquitoes being absolutely horrendous. So that's quite important. All right. Then booty things for waterproof cover. These are all my clothes, other than the clothes I'm wearing. That's it. Other than one pair of cycling shorts, my clothes consist of not very much. Pair of like Under Armour boxer shorts. Very boring. Don't want to see them. A t-shirt, which you'll see me in one of 2 t-shirts. This red one or maroon one now. That's all I've got. Pair of Nike shorts for when I cycle. Second pair of socks. And for special occasions, a gentleman should always have with him a shirt with a collar. That is probably the most important piece of clothing I've got. I am joking. So that's my clothes. That's all I have. So that's why you see me in the same clothes all the time. Cap. I don't know how much I'll be using that in this weather. Hard drives. I have in here 2 times hard drives. Both 2 terabytes. One's normal copy. And I'd never have a backup in the same one. I have the backup in a different location in case the bike breaks. Actually, I've got it in the same bag at the moment. 2 more hard drives, again, both 2 terabyte. That's how you watch all my videos, is me editing on there. I've got all a month's worth of Japan footage to edit. Should be cool. New gloves, sealskin, waterproof, aluminous gloves. When it gets wet. Don't know what the second glove is. Let's put it here somewhere. Second glove. This is big. This is my mountain equipment down jacket. Really useful, this. It's my pillow, and it's just a big old jacket. So there we go. There's that bag. Pretty much complete. Cool. So I'll leave all that stuff here, my clothes. Oh, and I carry my egg box. That might be the first thing to go if I'm going to start cutting down weight. I like eggs in the morning, so why not? Second bag. I'm going to take this bag off. Let's see here. Bit easier. Don't want the bike falling over though. Drone. Here we go. This is how you get to see a lot of aerial footage. I didn't have a drone before. For a little bit when I lost one. Decided to buy a replacement in Bangkok, so went a couple of weeks without one. This is the Mavic 2 Pro. It's fairly big, to be honest. It's a bit of a beast. It flies like a beast as well. One thing I've got to be aware of is in Canada, particularly, and parts of the States, there's a lot of drone laws and regulations and rules, and I don't want to get fined or arrested. So I need to be aware of that. I think Canada's the big problem. So we will see. Obviously, if I use any footage, it's been done above board. This is my remote for the drone. These carry cases take a bit of space as well, but I want to protect it. It's expensive. I have some ND filters for the drone. That's kind of like putting sunglasses on the drone. It helps you in bright light. Remote. That's how I fly it. So yeah, these 2 are my drone. As you can see, it's quite big compared to my head. Okie doke. Bananas. They'll go very quickly. A towel. This is my towel. Very small. Used to use it as a dishcloth. Decided to go for it just as a normal towel from now on. Let me look in here. This is my tools. This is all my spares tools. In there's like a pedal wrench. There's spare disc brakes, gear cables, multi-tool. I'm not going to open up, so it'll take me ages. There's lube, nuts and bolts, loads of zip ties. Yeah, everything I think I need. And then there's always something you don't have. Always. So carry a big ball of tools like that. This is my washing stuff. By washing stuff, I mean detergent for washing clothes, which I don't have much of, to be honest. It's only a small little bag. Detergent. I have a washing line, elasticated to dry my clothes. And this is a kitchen sink. So if someone's saying, it's even brought the kitchen sink. I have. Sea to Summit kitchen sink. Carries 10 litres. Really good for washing clothes. Don't use it to wash my pots very often. A toilet roll. Obviously taken from some guest house in Japan. Always take the toilet roll. First aid kit, waterproof with a plastic bag. It's a bit cheaper. Fairly basic first aid kit, things like burns, cuts. Somebody could probably tell me what to take, and I probably haven't taken the right things. So my wash kit, massive sun cream, which I don't think I'll be using much of, to be honest. I've not used that for ages. That might be going. Toothpaste, deodorant, shower gel, floss, toothbrush. That's pretty much it. And shampoo. I think I said that. Oh, this is my horn canister for that. Unnecessary. A lot of bin bags. And then the back. These are just a load of Ziploc bags. Too many, to be honest, but you can never have too many. A drone battery. It's got my email address on it, which nobody can identify me from, hopefully, in case it goes missing. SD cards. I carry 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. 7 in the camera SD cards. They do have space for more, but I found that works enough for me. They're all 32 gigabyte. Don't like having too much footage on one memory card, so I try to just put them all on one in case one goes corrupt. Never want to lose all my footage. That's something for my filter. It's like a plunger to clean it. Here we go. Let's get some of this stuff out. Some of this is new, some of this is old stuff. Right, this is everything. Now, as you can probably see from this, I'm not going super lightweight. A bike light, don't have it attached to the front at the moment. It's daylight nearly all the time. If it is needed, it's rechargeable and pretty easy to use. Pen, a notebook, which I just also is in the brown box, is empty, so that's a new notebook. My Latin American Spanish, using this at the moment to try and learn some Spanish, which was given to me by a really good friend. Very, very much appreciated. I have knife, fork, spoon. Did for a bit just have one, and then I decided to get a spoon from some restaurant. This is one of the most important things. It's a normal knife. If you can't spread peanut butter with a spoon, standards. Nail clippers. A map of Canada. There's a lot of bits in this I don't need, to be honest, but I'm keeping it as is. In here, a little bit waterproofed, is a map of the USA West and Canada West. So another map for when I get down to America, to the 48 states, which is what they call it up here, down to the bottom. I found this book in the brown box, The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. Never read that, so let's see if that gets read. I'm still carrying this around as well. This is from Juhi. I stayed with. She gave me a little thank you note, and she gifted me a bookmark. So I'm going to use that for Mr. Huckleberry Finn. Still carrying that, Juhi. If you happen to watch this video, there my panniers, pretty much done. I'm now going to go to this center bag. Move across, and then I'll come back to the comments. Here we go. As you can see, there's a new sticker from Japan. Bit of Charizard. I used to always want a shiny Charizard as a kid, so I got one as a grown-up. Right, in here is things I'm going to use fairly often, is my logic. Things I don't use every day, as in every minute, stay in there. But things I want quick access to. So these are my sleeves. They go on my arms, protects me from the sun, keep me a little bit warm. So yeah, there we go. So sleeves. Here's a new edition, again from the Brown Magic box for free. Somebody left some binoculars. How good is that? I thought there's going to be a lot of wildlife here, so they're coming with me. Someone's carried them for a reason. Looked after them. Little leather pouch as well. So yeah, binos. Also good for bringing in mortar fire. Previous job. Not in the army anymore, Adam. Stop it. So waterproof jacket, North Face. As you can see, pretty small. It fits in here, quite compact. That will probably be coming on fairly often. I get quite hot, so waterproof trousers. A pump, my bike pump, strapped in there. Doesn't get used a lot, but it's a good place to put it. Seems to fit in quite nicely. Sunglasses in a leather case. This was the case that came with my microphone, so I decided to put it in here. And a head torch. So that's pretty much it. So a fair amount in there. Let me, just gonna sit down. Let me go through some of the comments, because I think I've had a lot here and I've not had a chance to look at any of them. Oh, cool. Here we go. People talking to people. Where do I scroll to? I lose track of where I've got to. You guys have put a lot of comments here, which is awesome. Okay, so a lot of people talking to each other. Richard Miller, what material is your cooking pans and utensils made of? Great question. I've not showed you them. I'm going to show you my cooking pans, which are, let me just tilt this down. This is the box I flew from Japan in. Great story, that, by the way. Just randomly cycled past this bike shop, went to some guy who was had a bike cafe with fat bikes. And I was like, mate, this shop is awesome. And the guy was like, yeah, cool. The Japanese guy didn't speak much English. And I was like, saw some boxes. I was like, do you have any boxes I can have? He's like, yeah, where are you staying? He came and delivered it to my hotel for free. Legend. Washing up liquid, which isn't what you was asking about. Cooking utensils. I want to show you this because it's new. Decided to upgrade. This is my pans and pots. Sea to Summit. I'm not sponsored by anybody on this trip, but if I was to be sponsored by anyone, Sea to Summit, I'd love to be sponsored by you guys because you make some amazing kit. Really impressed with the build quality. And Sea to Summit roll mat, sleeping mat, and cooking stuff at the moment. And this dry bag at the front, which hasn't been tested, but I'm sure it'll be good. This is my plate and chopping board, and it pops up like so. It's kind of like, I used to have a dog bowl that was like this, just like that. So that's my bowl. And this is the stove, and it's got proper metal bottom. You can't use it on an open fire, but that's pretty good. You can't burn yourself. I burnt my finger in Japan, which is really annoying. It's in the middle of nowhere, burning your finger, pouring all your remaining water on it. This comes with a strainer in the lid. I eat pasta nearly every day. So that is, I'm looking for, that wasn't cheap. That was worth the money, I believe, because I use it every day. Every day. So that's what my cooking stuff's made of. This is my stove. It's an MSR Whisper Light. It's a little bit battered. It's all in, not battered, it's a little bit just mucky. So I'm going to keep it in there for now. And salt, lighters. Cooking stuff. So there we go. There's that question answered. My dad talking about fishing hooks. I said I'd go fishing in Alaska. Let's see if that happens. I've never done it before, but if I can catch a salmon, it's getting eaten. Do I use a dynamo hub for electronics? No, I don't, Paul. Just have battery packs, which is in my handlebar bag. Just one battery pack. Bay in less 61. Do you use a bike lock whilst in your tent, sleeping, shopping, etc. Bike lock, yeah, I've got this one here. I've heard someone tie like a bit of like fishing wire to their line, I think it's called, to their foot. I'm in the middle of nowhere. Chance of getting nicked is low. Ryan Van Duzer, yes! So Ryan Van Duzer, absolute hero. I spoke to you the other day, and thanks for joining, mate. That's amazing. I love your videos. Big inspiration for me, and I imagine many, many others. So thank you for coming along. That's made my day. What's up, my man? Wishing you all the best. Come visit in Boulder. I cannot wait to come to Boulder. Yes, it's on. Brilliant. Cheers, Ryan. Okay, so Ryan's there we go, talking. Ian. There we go. People saying hi to Ryan in the comments. Richard Miller. I heard about... Okay, a guy being bit by a snake when he went out for. Hopefully, imagine getting bit by a snake if you popped out for a week. That'd be horrendous. That wouldn't be good. Rory Marshall, beast of a drone. That, yeah, the drone. So far, I had a Mavic Air. Now I've got a Mavic 2. The difference is unbelievable. Like the Mavic Air, I lost it because it lost connection. and try to fly itself home without me controlling anything, black screen, and it flew itself into a tree. Now, this drone has never lost connection so far. It just doesn't seem to lose connection. Maybe I'm just flying it in better places, but the Mavic Air used to lose connection a lot. So I'm very happy with that. So why did I swap the handlebars from Mike Lee's? A couple of reasons, mate. And I'll show you the handlebars whilst I talk about this. So yeah, these big surly handlebars, as opposed to drop bars, I've been wanting to do it for ages. It's been something that I've been considering, and I think it gives me better handling, having wider bars. It still gives you varied positions, maybe not as many as drop bars, but it does give you better handling. It's giving me more space, more real estate. Look at this cockpit, loads of crap everywhere. But yeah, having my food, having the bear spray, being able to put a dry bag underneath gives me more options. So that's the light. More options is always good. And I didn't particularly like the bar end shifters on my handlebars, so I wanted to change the shifters anyway, because I kept knocking my knee on them, kept banging them. One of them was broken. I had to get that broken in Japan. So I was just a bit like, I'm going to change the shifters. Might as well just change the handlebars and just go full hog. And I'm going to be now spending a lot of time on gravel roads and off-roads. If I do down the Great Divide, heading down to Colorado to see Ryan Van Duzer, that would be, hopefully, having wider handlebars, I feel, will just give me more control. So yeah, that's that question answered, pretty much. Okay. Richard Miller. When in the wilderness, you always take that chance. Yeah, but we stick back bit by snakes. Hello, Julie. Julie Lovegrove, nice to see you on YouTube. That's brilliant. People talking to Ryan, which is awesome to see. Okay. From Richard Miller, I noticed you had to remove the fenders, the mud guards. Yep. Miss Early. So I do have one of my fenders still in here. It's in here, which it actually pains me to do a little bit, because I've put stickers on it, which remind me of places I've been. Cambodia, Laos, Pai. Very first sticker I got, Tree and Lodge, which is where I set off from. I put these two on it, thinking I was going to keep the fender on in Singapore. It's cracked here, so that broke a while ago, but I just, instead of using that, I just cable tied there, which is fine. In the flight, it got a little bit bent up, which is okay, but I could still bend it into shape. It does pain me to lose this, but you're right about tire width. My tires aren't super wide at the moment, but I'm going to try and run these down as far as I can. So I've just changed the tires over, swapped the back and the front, did that a few weeks ago. I might be, when I do need to change tires, get a little bit wider for the Great Divide time, or maybe even Mexico, Baja Divide. So yeah, that's my logic, is just go bold, fender's gone. Did you increase the tire width for continuity? Yeah, so I kind of answered that. I haven't yet, but I'm planning to at some point. Yeah, there's my mate Marcus, Bike Floor. Go and check out his channel. Brilliant, brilliant content from Marcus in the comment section there. Rob Stamatis, drone loss video was sad. How do you charge your electronics? Good question. I've got a power battery thing. What do they call them? Power bars, power bank. Anchor. I've had this for about 3 years now. Power Core 20,100. Good little thing. Charges your phone about 6-7 times. I use it to charge my phone, my GoPro batteries, and to charge my Garmin. Can't charge my drone, can't charge my laptop, which is fine. When it goes out of battery, just can't use it. That's how it is. So I've got to ration my electronics, which will be tough. But I've got, for my camera, 3-4 batteries for my actual camera, 2 batteries for my GoPro, and I feel like that's enough. If I'm using more than that, that'll last me a week. If I'm rationing it pretty much from charge. So I leave here charged. If it runs out, yeah, it's gone. Cool. Julie has asked, what do you use for navigation? Smartphone, app, GPS, map. So as you saw earlier, maybe I do have 2 maps, which are down here somewhere on my phone. 2 apps I've used. I'm not navigated in the States yet, but I imagine they'll be fairly similar. I use Google Maps quite often just to look at the road. If I'm doing some general planning, it's going to move. Doing some general planning, we'll use Google Maps just to get set up, just to work out exactly kind of where I'm going to go. But I don't use that to navigate on the road because you need data. I don't have any data in the States. So on my phone, I have an app called maps.me, which looks a bit like, hopefully that works. Map app, downloads offline, shows you where you are, waypoints. I save every night I sleep. So every time I sleep somewhere, I make a little dot, ends up getting a little thing like this. That's Southeast Asia. Everywhere I've slept in Asia. There's Japan. Everywhere I've slept through Japan. Come on, bright lights. Yeah, Japan and Korea. Cool, you get the point. So maps.me. I use another app called Map Out. I have to pay for that. Good map, a little bit better. Oh, it's not very good to see on the phone, but it's got topography on there, which is quite good for elevation. So yeah, apps, and I do have maps for backup, and I've got a compass. So yeah, and just as long as I'm heading south on that compass, I'm heading down to Argentina. It's my logic. Right, here we go. You've got the 7-year Surly bike with the handlebars, I'm assuming. And yeah, that's cool. I've not used it yet. So I've got some ergon grips. Looking forward to using these handlebars. I was speaking to my good mate, Scott Sharrock, who's currently cycling around the world. He's in Nepal. And he said when he changed his handlebars, I think he's got a Jones bar. He was like, he felt like an old age pensioner in cycling with his bike like that. I know what it means. It's a little bit more aggressive on drop bars. So I will feel a little bit more comfortable going that way. That's right, buddy. We'll eat a whole ton of burritos in Boulder. Yes, I've got hidden away in my bag, I think 2 packs of tortilla wraps. Tortilla wraps are brilliant for big, long travels like this because they're going to stay in there, stay fresh, which is a bit worrying. So how do they stay fresh for so long? What are they putting in these things? So yeah, bean burritos. I've never had one. That might blow your mind a bit. I've only been to the States once to play rugby with work, and I've never been to Mexico. So I've got so many foods and things I want to try. And yeah, bean burrito is one of them. So Jayo, Matt Galat, give it a go to find my lost drone. He did, absolute hero. Tried to find my drone in Cambodia. Who knows, there's still a chance it could be found in the future. I reckon future generations are going to find that, and it's going to be like this antique, and it's going to have some epic footage on. They'll have to hook out the old laptops, the old computers to get that micro SD card off. It'll be a long time. It's dense, that jungle, and it's a protective nature reserve. So the only way I think someone would find it is if it gets hacked down one day, and I really hope that doesn't happen. So I'm happy for it never to be found, maybe. Okay, where are we there? Hi, Brew. From somebody's name with lots of numbers and letters. Hi, Brew, please say hallelujah, hallelujah. Oh, that was good enough. Julie's been to Boulder, which is good to see. You're planning the Baja Divide and long haul trucker. It's a disc trucker. Doesn't make much difference, to be honest. Disc brakes, V brakes. But yeah, mate, go for it. Do you know what my thoughts are? People have ridden all sorts of tracks back in the day on old school penny farthings. Ed Pratt cycled around the world on a unicycle through Kazakhstan. You know, people do things on things that aren't conventional. I'm all about just testing it, seeing how it works. I'm sure I'll shake, rattle, and roll. I'm going to moan when I'm like, and I'm getting cactus thorns in all my tires because I didn't go tubeless. But hey, it's an adventure, isn't it? So that's my thoughts on, not having the perfect bike, but the Surly disc trucker does the job. I cycled through the bumpy old back roads of Cambodia with it and was happy with it. So if I can do that, I'm kind of like, I can do anything. And people have been around the world and taken it to many big places. Let's have a drink. Richard asked my frame size, 56 centimeters, I believe. Ryan and Adam, yeah, probably. Yeah, trying to not talk about that because it doesn't make me happy, which is, as you can imagine, it's not good. But okay, Nicole. Nicole Van Dyke. I met Nicole randomly in Japan. She was cycling north. We were going the opposite ways on Lake Biwa. Lovely to see you, Nicole. So good, this live stream. Love it. Enjoying. Good luck to your ride. Looking forward to see your updates. That's really kind. It was lovely seeing you. And I hope I think you're probably back in the Netherlands now. I hope all is well and good with you. Okay. I'm going to go through. Oh, it's annoying when that happens. Sometimes it just jumps up my comments. Don't know how to pronounce your name. Teherd Gedsma. I hope I did that okay. Hi, Adam. Do the electronics add to or distract you from the experience of traveling? That's a brilliant question, mate. Right. Electronics on a tour. I've toured 2014 with nothing but all I took actually was one camera and an iPad. That's the only time I've toured with took an iPad because that's all I had. Didn't even have a phone. Took the iPad because I could download offline maps and could just use it. No laptop, no anything else, and enjoyed it. I spent a lot of time traveling with the military with no electronics. Does put you in that moment. I think for me, it's all about balance. I don't have a SIM card. I don't have data. So I'm not traveling with the internet. If I have the internet, it's very intentional. I stop, log on to Wi-Fi. I have to ask somebody for the password. And that makes a big difference to me, like not having the internet there the whole time. Some people might say you should get a SIM card for safety. And I agree with that. I'm prioritizing my well-being I don't know. Maybe I'm not certain on that, but does it add to it? I believe for me, it adds to it. I believe it's very individual. My camera particularly adds to my experience to share the story, to try and inspire other people, to make people feel emotions. And that's like getting messages like people that say at the beginning how they find it inspiring or how it's enjoyable, makes them want to go on bike rides. That's the biggest part for me. Sorry, I thought I had the door. That's the biggest part for me is inspiring and making people feel something. If that's sadness, if that's happiness, just evoking emotion. And it's a real like rewarding feeling. Being able to do that, the electronics allow me to do that. I feel in my way. If I was writing, for sure you could write, do it old school. And I just don't think I'm that good a writer, for being honest. But I'm getting better at making videos and hopefully getting better at being live, because this is it's a bit weird, isn't it? Just talking to myself, talking to you guys, talking to the camera. But I'm really enjoying this live, really enjoying doing all this, creating in a different way and pushing yourself. So yeah, do I feel it adds to it? I think it does for me, but there is a balance to be struck. There's been moments where, particularly Thailand, Malaysia, when I was starting through the trip. You right, mate?
Oh, you're still doing it?
Still going, yeah.
Oh.
Here's Jim. Here, Costco. Is that what you got there?
Get some dog food and something else that I won't tell you.
Okay. That's intrigued me, though.
Your niece is coming home to make you a treat.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So there you go. The kindness of strangers. And these aren't strangers anymore. These are really friends. And that's one of the beauties of this way of travel, is you make new friends. Oh, that's amazing. Right. Lost where I was then. But yeah, I think Thailand, Malaysia, I had moments where I was like, I'm on the internet too much. I had data in my pocket. And I just wanted to take that away from myself, because I think it is quite addictive looking at Instagram and stuff. And I want to enjoy the trip for what it is. This, I feel, is enhancing it for me and hopefully for you guys. Sharing what I'm taking, sharing my journey in that way. I love these questions, guys. Keep them coming in. I'll keep going with this live. I think probably the most another 40 minutes, because I do need to cycle today. But I want to try and answer these questions, and I'm going to just keep going with it whilst the flow's there. Grips are good. Ergon grips. Good to hear. That is... yeah, I've heard good things about them. So that's all I've gone off so far. So that's really good to hear. Jem Mint, 1952 Mantle asks, what if you get a flat tire? Will you walk the rest of the way? I have puncture repair kit as one spare inner tube hidden away in my tools. So the one spare can be repaired. I think a tire tube can be repaired 6, 7, 8 times. I've had flats, but not many, to be honest. The tires I've got are good. They're thicker. They're Schwalbe Land Cruiser bike. I think 26-inch 2.0. So yeah, hopefully I won't get a flat, but it will happen. Always happens. The only thing that caused me to walk is catastrophic failure. And yeah, just get on my feet and walk. Okay. Ian King, what's the biggest thing you'd say you wish you knew before buying your bike, given you've changed the bars as one example? Oh, biggest thing. It's been so gradual for me, and it all depends on where you are and what you're doing. I don't have an answer to that, I'm afraid. I would even say you need to have wide bars for someone else. It's so individual. It depends on the type of terrain you want to go on. I've discovered that I like being on the bumpy terrain. So one thing is, what bike do you buy? I've bought a bike that's an all-rounder. It's not brilliant off-road. It's a bit hard, but it rides okay on the roads. It's good on the roads, actually. It's a bit of a beast there. So as a touring bike, this is great. I think a specialist bikepacking bike would be a bit too aggressive for a lot of what I've done so far. 12, 13,000 K through Japan, Korea, Thailand, all tarmac, Malaysia tarmac, China tarmac, 99% of it. So yeah, I think for me, this bike's the right bike for what I've done. Maybe it's not the right bike for what I want to do though. And that's my big lesson. It's just here's the lesson. Make do with what you got. Stop spending money. Just get out there, get on your bike and go out, because we're too gear oriented, including myself. So there's my advice. From Ryan, I've had a burrito, I think, in London now. It's not the same, is it? You're having it from King's Cross Station in London. I had it with my mate Chris Brandt, who was on the live stream earlier. We had a burrito there. I think it's the only time I've had a burrito properly, like one I've ordered, not me putting a load of stuff in a wrap, which is generally just a peanut butter burrito. Yeah, really good question, Ian. It's just jumped up a bit. Where are we? I'm not wearing my glasses, I have to get close. Bean burritos, the food of touring gods. Right. You might have to educate me here. When we say beans, because in the UK, beans and it might be different to what you're calling beans. Are we talking refried beans? When I go to a Walmart or supermarket of any choice, wherever, what beans do I buy? Because I'm not too sure. Because I'd like to try it. And do you put any guacamole? Do you put salsa in there? Or what's your preference? That's a good question. I think from me to you guys. Right, shark mentality. Nice to have you on board, buddy. I like my wide bars. No man's are a problem in one position. You're right there. I don't know. I'm gonna have to try it out, see how it goes. Talk to Ryan about Baja when I get closer. You'll definitely want to go tubeless. Yeah, mate. I saw your video about that and how tough a time you had, which genuinely inspired me to want to go and experience it myself. I feel you can experience so much through YouTube, but ultimately, experience is about living it. And I think tubeless, San Diego is my last city before I really get into there. So that'll be my time to get my bike in good shape. Tubeless, I've never done it, so I'm not opposed to doing it. And the cactus thorns apparently are a nightmare, as you'll know. So yeah, tubeless, I can imagine that's going to be something I'll need to do by that point. From Michael Packer, welcome aboard, mate. Had a friend do a ride from the middle of America to the West Coast on a single-geared flat bar bike. You can ride a tour on anything. Yeah, I'd agree there, Ryan. It's an easy conversion. That's good to know. Really good to know that it's easy to do. Yeah, cool. Convert to tubeless. Something to think about down the line. Where are we? Lil Banchero, if you find yourself in Iowa next year in July, the longest running bike ride in the world, Ragbri, happens then. Ride across Iowa in 6 days with 10, 20,000 fellow riders. I have also seen Ryan Van Duser's Ragbri. So the only reason I've heard about it, I looked at when it was dates-wise, and I'm not going to be there this year. If I'm still in the States by July next year, either I've got very distracted on my way south, which could happen, but it's all visa times and stuff like that for me. The US obviously controlled visas, and they're quite liberal with 90 days is quite good is what I get. So I've got 90 days here in Alaska. Hopefully I get 90 days when I go down to the 48 states. And yeah, I don't know. I do have ambitions at some point. Here we go. I've never told anyone on YouTube this. I've told friends, but I do have ambitions of at some point leaving the bike, backpack, throwing some essentials in, and walking a big old walking trail. I'm talking Pacific Crest Trail, Continental Divide, Appalachian. One of those three. Always Pacific Crest Trail speaks to me the most at the moment. So yeah, maybe when I get to Mexico, I might not do Baja. I might leave my bike and just walk back up to Canada. We will see. I don't know. Try not to think too far ahead. Ryan, you need to hook Adam up with a Trek 920. I am happy with the bike I've got, mate, but that is very appreciated. If I don't think Trek are just giving up freebies to me. But yeah, cheers, buddy. I like that. What's your favorite aspects of bike touring? Meeting people. That's Rob Semitis. Yeah, for me, meeting people, best aspect. I'm going to be testing that a little bit differently this time. When I go towards the Arctic Circle, it's not about meeting people. It's going to be about pushing it. Hello. I'm still live streaming. You can come through though. So you go. Hello. Hello. Oh, you're wet. You've been swimming in that lake, haven't you? This is another nice thing, is being in a house and being able to say hello to dogs, which I absolutely love. You're all right, aren't you? So when I first walked in, I started getting barked at. Didn't I by you? No, oh, that's a good scratch. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, okay. A bit distracted there by you, mate. Cool. I'll leave the dog for a second, then come back here. Favorite aspects of bike touring, meeting people. But when I say I'm going to go up to the Arctic, I'm going to test myself physically, being isolated and experiencing that. I'm going to put the dog in the garden. So I think he wants to go out. Do you want to go out? We'll go in. There we go, mate. You want to go in, don't you? You're in. Cool. Real world happens. There we go. Yeah, so I'm going to test myself in a different way. So there's the aspect of being, another thing I love is just being in nature, seeing wildlife. It really, there's seeing birds that I've never seen before, flying, massive winged birds. I know when I see moose and bears, I'm going to be like, my mind is going to be blown. And I love that feeling of nature and being at mercy of nature when it's raining hard, when it's snowing, when it's hot. So yeah, meeting people and nature are my two things I love about cycling. I'm struggling to keep up with the comments here. Cheers, Mike. Doing well live. Thank you. Do appreciate that. I've only ever seen on live. So I don't actually watch a lot of YouTube. I watch bike touring people, watch Ryan's videos, I watch Bike Flow, I watch Jayo Nations. And I've only seen his live videos. So he's my inspiration, really, for this. Not seen analysis, but he has data, does Matt, when he goes about. I'm Wi-Fi only, so you're getting static, bit more, where you get more of an immersive experience with Matt. Different people, different things. Warm showers is fantastic from Julie. Yeah, you're right there. Cyclists from Germany coming tomorrow night. Brilliant. That's lovely. Michael, my bus, you kind of like a combination between Tom Hardy and Jon Snow. Don't want to say stuff like that because my head is big enough as it is. I'm joking. Marathon makes great tires for the Schwalbe, I think. Yeah, from Richard Miller. Adam, where's the easiest country for you so far? What country do you recommend for rookie bicycle tourist first big tour? The Southeast Asia tour a little too ambitious. What do you think? That's from B and Lee's 61. For me, Thailand, easiest country in the world. Cycle tour. Cheap, warm, super friendly, tarmacked 99% of the time. big, hard, wide shoulders. Food's amazing. There's 6 good points there. Good infrastructure for tourists. Police are super friendly with tourists. They have tourist service stations. Free camping in temples. Free camping in police stations, which is very comfortable to do. Negatives. Some of the tourist destinations are a bit too touristy, a bit too busy, so just avoid them if you're not into that. That's about it. Good visa time for most countries. Get in there quite easily for free. Really easy to extend a visa. Thailand, not ambitious at all, mate. Do it, won't regret it. That's my advice. My mother, hello, Adam. Loving your live stream. Good. Good to do it at a good time that people in the UK, people in America, everyone can see it, which is why I had to do it at this time. How are you going to get your fuel if you've got an MSR? From Phil John. So the fuel is a multi-fuel stove I use, is petrol. I do have white gas actually in one of mine at the moment. I've never used white gas, meant to be cleaner. But yeah, anything that burns liquids. So it's quite easy to get hold of petrol in the middle of nowhere. Generally, a car will stop by, could use a hose and extract if they let me, if I was really in an emergency, but I just make sure I carry enough for how long I'm going to be going. So I don't have to rely on strangers to give me fuel. What model is your new tent? Very good question. It's a Montbell, I think it's with an S. Montbell's a Japanese company with a good reputation. It's hard to get outside of Japan. Stellar Ridge tent, 1 person. Yeah, you won't really find them outside of Japan. And it's hard to find reviews of it. So after I've camped in that thing for the next few months, by the time I get to the lower 48, I'll do a review of that tent because I've not found a review. Thought I'd give it a go, see how it goes. It's small. I wanted a small tent there. So yes. From Albertus Janssen, try fried onions as a snack. Yummy, yummy. Oh, San Diego, try to meet the reality changers. Great YouTubers. I've not heard of them, but thanks for the recommendation. From Richard Miller, I do like your questions, Richard. Make sure your current wheels are tubeless compatible. If not, there's always ways to prevent flats from thorns. Self-sealing tubes are an option, way cheaper option. So my wheels, the front wheel is the one that comes with the Surly. It's the rim is a Alex rim. The rear wheel rim, I love this. Still running my $5 Chinese rim. It's doing all right. Took it into the shop and got it re-trued last couple of days. But I spoke to them about it. They were like, how long have you been on that rim? I was like, 6,000-7,000 kilometers. They're like, looks to be doing good. Why change it? If it's not broke, don't fix it. It's my thoughts on that. But yeah, I don't know if my wheels are tubeless compatible. That's what I mean. I just don't know. I've not looked into how it works. Abdullah Al-Mansouri, cycling from Alaska, baby. I imagine you said it in that way. That's how I read it anyway. Rob Sturmitis, definitely got that wrong. Sorry, mate. The people aspect really seems to be a common thread. Yeah, I think you're right. That's who are we as humans without social interaction, I believe. Especially now how hospitable they come when they see what people are doing traveling on a bike. Yeah, you've seen little moments here with Jim. Glad you've seen that, to be honest, because it's hard to get across when you're filming. And I feel a bit awkward sometimes getting my camera out. It's good for you to hear that, probably, that I feel awkward. That's why I've got the GoPro, because it feels less obtrusive than getting my big camera out. Do have to get over it sometimes. But especially when I'm in someone's home, I feel awkward getting a camera out because it's personal, it's their home. So I haven't filmed much here. I'm going to start filming when I leave here. But this is a little record of the kindness of Jim and Bernice. Let's just go through the comments again. Albertus Janssen, Nate guy, Johan Gugarev, great YouTube channel. Yeah, really good, mate. I've spoke to him briefly on Instagram, just a couple of messages back and forth. He gave me the advice to put a bit more weight on the front. Watch some of his videos. Johan Gugarev cycled a lot of what I'm going to be cycling, to be honest, but 3 years ago. And he did it 2 panniers at the back, 2 at the front. Now he's riding full-on fat bike with, bikepacking setup, but pretty heavy still. But he's getting about on the remote roads. He makes beautiful videos. His standard is super high. You can only aspire to be there. Richard Miller, I'm looking to make Thailand my winter hangout in the future. It's a goal I have. Me and you both, buddy. Thailand's favorite country I think I've been to so far in the world. Hello, Pooch. Oh, my favorite dog. I want you to say hello. Come on. Hello. This dog is lovely. Can't remember your name though. What's your name? Is it on here? 3 dogs. I forget their names. There we go. Oh, Hershey, like the chocolate. Oh. Hershey's very quiet and nice and just likes being scratched behind the ears. Do you want to go inside, Hershey? Do you want to go in? Oh, you do, don't you? Do you want to go in? Come on. There we go. Cool. Right, let me get back to them comments. Ian. Hadn't realised your mum was in the chat. Assume we can ask her questions again like last time. Missed out on that. Feel free, mate. My mum may or may not answer. Depends what you ask her. But it is an interesting insight to speak to Mother Hugill in Beverley in Yorkshire. Anson L. I wonder how you get petrol in China. I thought they didn't let you refill. I had no problems at all, mate. I've never experienced that. I'd heard that before I went as well. Just went to the petrol station and was like, Jayo, which, yeah, had fuel. So they got it, did it, paid my 50 pence, like less than $1 for some fuel. Good to go. Yeah, no problems at all. I think it just depends on where you are. I've had actually, where did I have a problem? Japan. They only would fill metal containers. That's why I've got metal containers for the States, because I think if I turn it with a plastic bottle, they might be like, no, sir. But Japan are very strict by the rules. That's probably why. Hendrika, no, you missed it from the beginning. Don't worry about that. It's all going to be able to replay. But welcome to the show, the live stream. So from Richard Miller, they say TLR somewhere in my rim. Okay. The rear $5 rim. Certainly not. We'll only find out if I can run tubeless one day. How far are we going to cycle today from Mike Lee's? At the moment, it's looking less and less. I was planning. Okay, let's have a look. So there's a little lake not too far from where I am now on my map, which I have kind of just put down as a minimum. Mirror Lake Park. It's not far at all. 40k. That's my minimum today, but it doesn't get dark till like 11:30. So that's why I'm not in a rush to get out. So if it got dark like in some other countries earlier, I'd have to get going. But that's one of the great things about not having a real time pressure. It's just I can take my time and do this. Gary Wright, hi from the homeland. What do you use for route finder? I did answer that earlier, mate. Just use Maps.me and Map Out. It's my 2 apps. But you can watch that on the replay later on, my more detailed answer. Hendrik, I know you should download Polar Steps on Play Store so we can follow you live. I do have a live map. Let me just give you this. I don't want people knowing where I am live, is my thoughts. I don't want it live. I want to control when I let people know where I am. So I have a map, which I manually download, which I'm going to try and get up now. I'll put a link to it in the comments. Let me open up this map. Yeah, so it's a map I just put the dots in of every night I sleep somewhere. And there we go, sure. That's not right. That's quite a big link, this. But there we go, copy that. And I'm going to put this into the chat box. So there's a link of a map, which I use. If you go on my Facebook as well, that map exists there. Or it's pinned to the top. It shows you where I am. But I want to manually put it in. Because sometimes if I'm at someone's house, I don't want it there. And yeah, just that's my thoughts on it. Okay, from Richard Miller, the Alex DH9 is not tubeless ready. That's good to know. So I'm not ready for tubeless. I'll have to change wheels. It gets expensive, doesn't it? Oh, the budget takes a hit. Snooker Germ. Hi, Adam. Discovered you via your blog on Spotify last week. Here's a good little opportunity to plug the podcast. So, every day, or every other day, if I'm being honest, I record myself talking into my phone. I use my headphones and just talk about my thoughts. A little bit like this, but what's happening, what's going on. Excuse me if the boiler's making a bit of a racket in the garage. Yes, I have my headphones in, record my thoughts, and I'm uploading my audio files that I record to my phone as a podcast. Have a little intro, layer that on top of my thoughts. Don't edit it. Sometimes it's not good, sometimes it's good. Try and tell stories. Try and tell you how I feel, how I think, the real behind the scenes, really, audio version. And it's just a different way for me to be creative, trying to do something different, connect with a different audience as well. So I think that different people listen to podcasts. I'm going to plug my laptop in, so it might be running out of battery. Different people listen to podcasts and watch YouTube, two different audiences. There will be an element of overlap like yourself. I listen to podcasts most of the time, but I also watch YouTube. So yeah, if you want to watch that, the link is Bike Tour Diary. Let me get it up. So yeah, I'm going to get you a link to my podcasts. You can listen to it if you have time, if you would like to. They're pretty short. 10 to 15 minutes is my aim. I don't really want it to be too long. So there we go. Oh, that's not right. Never mind. Bike Tour Diary. It's on Spotify. It's on iTunes. It's, yeah, basically, it's, yeah, I just had a little moment there. I was trying to find out where it is. There we go. Podcast. Copy that link. I'm going to put it into the description there. So you'll be able to listen to that on your way to work. Let me post that in. Cool. That's the Podbean one. That's where I host it, but you'll be able to find it on iTunes, Spotify, everywhere else. Okay. Found a biking community from Jason Ennis. Yep. Okay.
You done?
Oh, not quite. I am at 1 hour 32. I'm gonna put, how long do you think I should go for, guys? What do you think?
I don't know, but you're doing the weather and stuff. So Fairbanks is 66 right now. It's supposed to get to 74. And here's the forecast: 79, 80s. So
it's getting good.
It gets warm.
Sweet.
Oh,
that's good. Happy with that.
Yeah.
Good weather.
So,
thank you for
that. That was Fairbanks, and then I don't know if I got Denali on here. Yeah, Denali. It's 41 right now.
Oh, rain.
And rain.
It's
and 37 at night. So it gets cold at night.
Oh, it's because it's higher, I imagine.
Yep.
Oh,
yep.
This is quite cool. Rain, 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 rain. Every day in Denali. Might not be seeing the mountain after all.
Might not. So maybe I shouldn't have shown you Denali. Honolulu's 84.
Why? Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant.
And Anchorage is still saying it's supposed to rain till about 3 today.
Okay.
But then the rest.
I think I'll end up getting to Mirror Lake Park.
Yeah.
I think that's how far I'll go today.
Yeah.
Not far.
Yeah.
Cool. It'd be nice though.
Oh, and it's not supposed to rain later tonight, so then it ought to be pretty there.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be in the 60s.
My mind has been a little bit blown by all these Fahrenheits. I'm having to
Oh, you're in the centigrade?
I'm guessing 100 is really hot.
Body temp's 98.6.
That's 36, is it?
36, 37
degrees Celsius. Yeah. So yeah, okay, yeah. So that's crazy hot. So I should look this up. Cool. I won't be long. I think I'll be another 20 minutes maximum. We'll see how this goes. Someone's asking my mum a question here. I once got in trouble at school for being on a very high school roof on his own. The school went into lockdown searching for me on the roof. Even back then, I was a thrill seeker. Yeah, that turned out to be much bigger than it should have been. Me climbing on school roofs at school during lunchtime. Shark mentality. Hey Jason, I'm in Maine. Wish more tourists would come and visit the Maritime Provinces in New England. You never know, mate. Might get down there. Richard Miller, anything I did that caused surprise as a youngster, I don't want to be found out about my youth. Keep it quiet, Mum. I'm joking. Paul Kimmings, Adam, have you been in touch with Imran Mugai from Bradford, local lad near you? He's also been around the world. Imran, World Cyclist on YouTube. I haven't. No, never heard of Imran. I'd like to look at that. That'd be cool. Turd Gilbertson. Again, sorry if I'm not pronouncing that well. How far ahead do you plan your exact route? A day or two? A week? I do plan a route. It always changes. So, yeah, I'm not strict with it. Sometimes it goes to plan. And maybe when I plan for like a month out happens. I've planned all the way to the US border, through Canada at the moment. There's not many route options, to be honest. There's little deviants that we can go, but when I'm going up to the Arctic Circle, there's one way. You're on that road. So there's things like that where I'm like, there's no navigation. Just get on the road and go. Richard Miller, nice weather. I hope you like that little interlude there. That was nice. I do not do Fairbanks when the ice road truckers are there. Yeah. Luckily it's summer, so it's no snow at the roads at the moment. And Rory remembers me climbing on the roof, my old schoolmate. Yeah, mate. Good times. Okay. Oh, my mum. Here we go. I once had a remote control Trump. I love the way my mum says Trump rather than fart. She doesn't think fart's a swear word. And in a very important assembly, I planted it the opposite side of the school hall, and we kept pressing it. And yeah, we got away with that as well. It was me and a couple of friends that did that. That was funny. That was a good time, right? Have I caught any black flies yet? I don't know what black fly is. What's a black fly? Right. On my kit, I'll show you it now. Where we're at. This is all my kit and equipment now. I was all packed and ready to go. And now I'm not packed and I'm not ready to go. I think Jim and Bernice are doing something special, which I don't know exactly what they're doing, but that sounds amazing. So I'm going to call this an end at 1 hour 36. I think I was planning to do 1 hour, so 36 minutes longer than I expected. And it's because of you guys, my audience, the people that are watching this live, the 50 of you that are on at the moment. I'm trying to imagine me stood in a room, 50 people there listening to me ramble. You definitely listen to me ramble a little bit here, guys. So thank you for joining. Thank you for coming along and being a part of this live stream. I hope you've got an insight into what it's like to be kind of starting a big trip. This is going to be mile 1 of a big journey down to Argentina. And I know this will be on YouTube forever, this little moment of me reflecting here. So I'm just going to tell you how I feel very short, briefly, before I end this, because I think that would be good for me to capture. So at the moment, I feel a little bit, I'm excited. Let's not get that wrong. I am excited, but I'm pretty anxious for the first time in a long time. The idea of being alone for such long periods of time with all the bears and the wolves and animals. I've never been in that environment, so I am, a little bit cautious. That's why I've been trying to learn how to do all this bear hanging stuff properly, not just being blasé about it, getting bear spray, doing the right measures to just be not eaten. And not again my food eaten, or I think I'll be fine. But I've heard you will see bears. You will see lots of bears. You're going to be you'll see moose. Stay away from them. That's all the locals are like. If you just see one, just stay away. Don't go near it. Don't be that tourist. I don't know what I'm like sometimes, so I'm gonna be careful. It feels like a new journey. Everything that's happened before almost feels irrelevant, and it's not. It's all experiences, but this is a different test, different kettle of fish. I'm going to be living cheaper than I have done. I'm going to be camping a lot more. It's just camping or warm showers. That's how I'm going to be staying. So yeah, it's I'm ready for it, but I feel like I could be more ready. I think we all feel that, but sometimes you just got to go. You just got to do it. So yeah, that's how I feel right now. Anxious but excited, if that's such a thing. I'm going to close on that. Have a look at these last comments here. People have enjoyed it. Hello.
Here she comes.
You want to say hello to everyone? You're on YouTube.
Hi.
So, right, I'm going to call this to an end here. So thank you, everyone that's been watching. If you haven't subscribed, I imagine you have if you've got this far into it. Hour and 40, probably are a subscriber. But if you haven't, that'd be awesome. If you could share any of my videos and stay in tuned, ready for Saturday, where I'm going to hopefully have internet and make my next career video public. And then I'm going to have to keep going. If you want to watch any videos early or see any exclusive content, you can become a patron. That will also support my journey, and it'll make a massive difference to me. And it's good to have you guys on board, and you'll get some cool rewards that go with it. So, right, I'm going. I need to pack my bags and say goodbye. But farewell. Thank you. Bye-bye. And